Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got a question from my favorite question and asker. He seems to ask such good questions that I always end up doing a video. This is from Tom, and he said that there's a similar video to this one. I'll point to this one. It's called How to Manage a Full-Time Job, Master's Degree, and a Business all at once. But he says here, you've inspired me so much with your hard work philosophy, and when you've previously mentioned that you busted your butt for a few years making all the courses and stuff to get yourself over the hump to where you wanted to be. Anyways, I wake up at 6 a.m. each day, go to the gym before work, and start work at 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. each day. After that, depending on the day of the week, I either work a second job from 5:30 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. and get home 9:45-ish, or I go to school, which is around a 40-minute drive during that time of day, from 6 to 9 p.m. and get home around 9:20 p.m. or so. I also usually work 8 hours of the second job on Sundays. As well, as you know, I make some videos and teach a few Udemy courses. I spend a few minutes each morning and night responding questions on, as that has increased in sales lately and brings in close to what my second job does now. Do you think it's healthy to be working like this, or is it just too much? It's essentially 15 to 16 hour days of go, 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 and I'm planning on doing this for 3 years to get really where I want to be in my life, and then cutting out the second job when my wife and I have hit our financial goals / own our home outright without a mortgage. I am fairly worried about burnout, but I have a lot of drive and have developed some strong routines at this point, and for whatever it's worth, I'm only 28. Also, I could potentially cut out some days of the second job once my degree is completed in roughly 8 months from now and rest 1 to 2 nights per week if need be. It's probably too much planning and thought going into it all, but I also don't want to move through life thinking I'm going to be rich someday. I did a video on that. Everyone thinks they're going to be a rock star. Like so many people do without ever taking the initiative to change the situations they're in. As you know, I know you're in China now, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. So I'm back from China. But okay, so here's the thing, Tom. First of all, I'm going to recommend a book. I've been recommending this book a lot lately because I just finished the book. It's a really good book. It's called The 10X Factor by Grant Cardone. It basically, like, I found a person who kicks ass and whips people like I do, telling them to get to work and work hard, because that's what this book is about. It's about applying 10x more than what is required of you or what is required to succeed in order to actually succeed. And I think that's a great strategy, and I think that's what you're doing, and I would say keep it up. He also talks about in this book of, just your life is going to be working hard, and that's going to be good, and you don't need a break from that. You don't need, quote, vacations, and not that you shouldn't ever take vacations, but you shouldn't be basically feeling like you need those things. So what I would say is that doing 15 to 16 hours a day is not practical for an extended period of time. But I think you could take this opportunity in your life and grind for 3 years to get to that goal, and it would be worth it. It's going to be hard as hell. You are going to face burnout. 15 to 16 hour days. Believe me, I went through this myself for about 3 years time period where I was working, probably about the same. It had a very similar routine. You have a routine. That's good. That's what's going to get you through this. That's the only thing that's going to get you through this is this routine and the dream, the goal that you're reminding yourself of why you're doing this and committing to focusing and getting this done. That's what's going to get you through it. But I totally, a lot of people give you advice and say, no, you're working too hard and you should relax a little, you're going to get burned out. I'm not going to give you that advice. I'm going to say go for it. I'm going to say kick life in the balls and take no prisoners, and you're going to commit to doing this for 3 years, but it's going to change your life forever. Heck, you're 28 now. When you're 31, wouldn't it be nice to have your life set, to totally alter the course of your life and to make it so that you're setting your future up for you? Of course, it's worth the sacrifice of 15 to 16 hour days for 3 years. You can do it. It seems really hard, but you've got a routine. You take it one day at a time, and you get that day done, and then you go on to the next day. And pretty soon, the 3 years will pass, and you'll be beyond that. And if I hadn't chosen that path for myself in my life, I would have not gotten to where I am. I would not have reached the goals financially, physically, mentally, where I wanted to be. And so yeah, I don't see. I would have been on a totally different path in life, but I buckled down and I was willing to pay the price. It sounds like you're willing to pay that price. you're going to have to watch out for burnout, because like I said, it's going to happen. You're going to feel it, but you're going to have to power through it if you want to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And like I said, remind yourself of your goals every day. Make sure that you have this routine and just stick to it. It's so much easier. It requires less willpower, less discipline if you have a routine like you do. And so for those of you that are wondering, how Tom can do this, part of it, I mean, he's a determined guy. I know this from talking to him, but part of it is having this routine. Having a routine is so critical, because when you know what you're supposed to do and you know what is expected of you and what you should be doing at any given time, it's easier to do it. It's much, much more difficult to go forward and to do what needs to be done when you got to figure out what that is, and you got to make choices, you got to make judgment calls, and you have the option of failing because you make the wrong judgment calls. So yeah, I think this is fine. I think this is good. I'm going to be the only person in your life that's going to tell you this. Everyone else is going to tell you to back off, to set smaller goals, not to work as hard, but bullshit. Don't listen to them. Do what you got to do. You got the energy and the motivation to do this, good. Push it to the limit and get used to this, right? I mean, this is life. Like, your whole life, you're not going to be working 15 to 16 hour days. Probably not. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll be an Elon Musk, and I'm pretty sure he does. But you're going to be working hard. And there's so many people that they're trying to, and this was me for some time, I was trying to get to this point where I wouldn't have to work so hard. And that's bullshit. You're happiest when you're working hard. I did this video on what makes you happy, working hard, essentially. And then when you get a good job done, when you accomplish that job, when you accomplish the goal, when you break through and the obstacle and reach the next one, that's what really is going to bring you the fulfillment in your life. So go for it. Like, get used to this. Get used to working hard. Get used to this being okay. It's not. I heard someone say, don't ask for things to be easier. Ask for yourself to become stronger, to become better. It's not to be out of breath, not to run to be easier, but for you to have better endurance. Right? That you want to build endurance. You don't want to make your path easier. You want your path to be hard so that you build endurance. So you're on the right track, buddy. I appreciate your questions. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate that you are doing what most people will not do, and you're going to achieve things that most people will not achieve. So thanks again, Tom. And if you have a question for me, email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. I can't answer all the questions, but I try to answer as many as possible. If you want to make sure that your question gets answered, you can check out the Patreon page. There's an option there to get a personalized question answered every month, and there's also some options to join our Facebook group and community. A lot of like-minded individuals that you can get together and get your questions answered and get some help and network and stuff. So anyway, if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you next time, and take care.